see how many instructors paid attention to watch the videos.
Right.
Well, they got a lot they could talk about to their students.
What's the date?
8, I think.
8?
So they gained 5 pounds, so they're not going to block it too much. Oh.
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right.
Okay, we're going to smoke the front entrance like we always do. Let them know that we're coming, and they don't like that. And then we're going to take the telescopic cover and we're going to set it off behind. It's just a good habit to get into because that's where you'll set your second box when you finally put it on. And if your inner cover has a hole in it, smoke that. It just spreads out and gets the bees to duck off the covers, the top bars, and we'll take that off. Easy. Always look for the queen on this sucker. We haven't found one this year, but we did last year a couple
every
times.
week last
We
year.
found a bunch of them earlier on the inner cover.
Yeah, they like to cruise around a little bit. So again, when we go over next week, this week when we do the field day, we're going to remove this feeder and put another frame in here. But Jim's going to take out this frame. Bees all the way across. You can look down.
Yeah, they're drawing that out.
They're drawing out the last frame. So next week, Jim and John and I and Larry will put second boxes on all these.
Look at all the nectar in here.
Remember, we gained 5 pounds from last week.
And it, look at the pollen they're bringing in, and this is all nectar, pollen here. Look at the different colors.
Beautiful. Now we put these down here right by Larry's legs, and he's been and managed to be safe every week.
Well, that's drawn out really nice.
Okay.
Look at how they've capped this up here already. And this is all nectar. This is not sugar water, because we haven't fed them. We only fed them one time this year. That's pretty amazing, really.
Now, if you look at this, look at how they formed the honey around. It tells you that there's most likely brood in the middle because they didn't put any honey in there.
Look at all the eggs and larvae in here.
Look at that.
Hold that.
Okay? There's signals to you when you're looking at your hive that you need to pay attention to. If they were no eggs or anything in there, they'd be filling that up with honey. The queen's just following them as they go across drawn comb.
Same thing on this side.
Now we know we've had no bees hatch out yet. Okay, or we shouldn't have. So let's think about it. We got bees 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and on the 6th frame. But we only have 4 frames of bees in a package. Because it's nice and warm and our nighttime temperatures are warm, they're expanding very well.
We should be getting really close to hatch out though.
Yeah, normally we would see a few bees hatch on Saturday. Look at that.
Look
You
at
got
all that
cat
pollen.
brood here, all the pollen. You could tell pollen by the color of the cell. Now,
Capped root over here. Now take a look right here. This is older larva. Look at this larva in here. Look at the difference. They're just about ready to cap this larva right in here.
Look at that bee feeding the larva there. See it? Right here. Look at it. See it? They're all feeding larvae. See them? Look at all of them sticking their head into the larva cells.
Now, here's another thing to look at. Look at these bees up here. They're all filling their bellies with honey because we smoked them.
Beautiful. Oh, man. So we got to mark.
When you put your frame back, remember, put it at an angle, real slow, real gentle.
The angle is very important. So last week we had 4 frames that were drawn out to the bottom bar.
Now look at this.
Look at that.
Look at the pattern that
Now think about
queen is laying.
think about how we're now starting to see cap brood. So in your mind, kind of add up how much cap brood you got.
So
10 days, that's all going to hatch. So you need a place for these bees to go.
this side holds 3,300 cells. You've got about 1,800,
Yeah.
2,000
See what this one is. That's all
more
cap too.
here,
Wow.
more here. So you've got about 4,000 bees that are going to emerge from here in less than 10
See
days.
the pollen right here? Looking for a place to dump it. Beautiful. Man, that is a beautiful frame, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is.
So that's one whole frame that's going to hatch out. That'll be next week when we come in here and inspect this. That frame will be empty.
This one will be too. This one.
Oh boy, that's even older.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this will be in the next
Look
couple
at
of days.
look at the color of the capping. People been walking on it a long time.
They got dirty feet. That's
Mhm.
why it's getting darker.
Now see how the bees are spread out over the cap brood? They don't need very many bees to take care of that. Okay? Look at that. Again, no sign of the queen.
Not yet.
They hate us.
I know.
Last year we would look for that queen and it was like chasing a ghost.
There she is.
Look at her now. She's a Caucasian. Look how big she is. Really nice. She's looking for empty cells and she can't find. Look her dick. Watch her tip her head. Every time she comes to one, she looks. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay. And another frame of cap brood.
Did we have some hatch out?
No.
No.
No, can't see it. I don't see any roughed up. When the hatch happens, the outside lip of the cell will be a little rough. You can usually tell. Being a real good girl here of looks like they're putting most of their honey next to the feeder. But they put a lot of brood there too, but you see honey in the corners.
All the way around here.
Remember, they're consuming a lot of honey to draw comb. Okay? Look at that.
Look at all the pollen they've stored here. Perfect.
And she's on my side, so.
Yeah, I'm going to set this over here. And then I'm gently. We know where
Okay.
she is.
See how he's moving those frames over? If you keep those frames rest nice and clean and your frames pushed up tight, you'll be able to do that and you have less chance of hurting your queen. Now we have brood. Let's look here. If he puts that away, we have brood on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames. So we got about 5 frames of brood. Now we'll mark this as
I
6.
got to see if this one's completely drawn out. I can't remember.
That one is. Isn't it?
Yeah, it is on this side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can mark this one.
Yeah.
What about the second to last?
No,
It's
no,
not ready yet?
no.
Okay.
The back half of that is not drawn out.
Okay.
So we're going to mark this frame right here. So they've drawn out 5 frames now. Okay. It's very important to write that date on it so you know what you're doing. So we got about, if you were counting this as a hobbyist, you would look at this and go, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frames of bees. Well, you know their package only had 4, but I would mark it so you know that is expanding out. That tells you if bees are covering 7 frames, you better think about putting the second box on pretty soon. So most of you guys will probably want to put a second box on next week, but we'll add 1 empty frame in here. Won't hurt a thing. Okay, we're going to close it up. Remember, mark your lid or mark your journal what your inspection results were. Doesn't take very long to work them if you just systematically go through it like Jim did. You notice we only had to smoke a little bit. They're nice and gentle.
Honey.
Yep. Okay.
So bees, brood, honey.
Yep.
And queen right or whatever the
You want to
issue
say
is.
you want to know
you-
that your queen is okay. All right.
When you put
It's
your
really
lid
important.
on, if you have a migrating, make sure you push it forward.
Okay.
There you go.
Thanks, guys.
See you next week. See you tomorrow at the field day.
Yep.